Good evening to all. Good evening. The time has arrived for us to prepare to start our meeting, so we will be calling everyone to order at this time. We now call our meeting to order. Please let us stand for our invocation and pledge allegiance. To our great Creator, we thank you for this precious day. We thank you for all that you are doing for us each day. We thank you for your wonderful grace, mercy, and love that you shed upon us. We welcome you into this meeting to have your way. We ask that you would clear our hearts and our minds, that all that we do would be for the betterment of this city and for the citizens, that we may be better neighbors to all. So we welcome you into this meeting this day to please have your way. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And at this time, I will call your attention to our agenda, and I will ask the following. If there's no objection, I would like to move our resolutions forward to follow our public input session. Are there any objection to moving the resolution forward?
No.
Hearing none, the resolution will be moved forward. Also, we have an addendum that's being requested to be placed on our agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to have the addendum added, which will be of Mr. John Wise to come forward. Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Wise will be added as C item under our appearance before council. At this time, we'll proceed with our agenda as outlined. First, we have on our agenda will be approval of the minutes from March the 18th, 2024, regular meeting. Do we have?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. The minutes have passed. Next, we will have honors and recognition. At this time, we will have service recognition for Mr. Matthew Hampton, 10 years from the fire department. I do believe that we have our fire chief here. I'll ask that they come forward, please.
Matthew Hampton began his career with the City of Florence Fire Department on April 12, 2014. He started by attending recruit school, and upon successful completion, he was assigned to Engine 121 located at Stationsville on Marion Street as a firefighter. Later in his career, he transferred to Ladder 114 as a firefighter on September 16, 2017. He was promoted to firefighter driver. Upon his promotion, he returned to Stationsville where he is a driver currently. Firefighter driver Hampton has exemplified unwavering commitment to the department by his work ethic and his attention to detail in his duties and his training. He is always eager to help new members assigned to his company learn the organization and the duties assigned to them. We extend our deepest gratitude for his dedication, professionalism, and exemplary service to the City of Florence, the fire department, and its citizens.
As we proceed with our agenda, next we'll have appearance for council, and we're asking that each person who gives notice to speak may be limited to a 5-minute presentation at the discretion of the presiding officer of the City of Florence Code of Ordinance, section number 2-24. First, we have coming before us will be my brother's keeper to provide an update to the council. With representative, please come forward.
And let the fun begin. Good morning, or good afternoon to everyone. We only have 5 minutes, so let me make it quick. My name is Marcus Simmons. I'm going to introduce Ms. Pam and Elder Beatty. They're going to be doing a lot of the talking. So with that being said, I'm going to let them go ahead and tell you what's going on, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Short people problem. My name is Pam Dowks. I am currently a driver once a week on Thursdays. It takes a little over an hour to deliver to the 4 parks and to the hotels. It is truly a joy for me to hear the thank you from all the adults and kids. And I must say that the kids population at the parks is growing. and at the hotels. We are thankful for all the support the great city of Florence gives to its community. MBK is in its 5th year. We have served over 250,000 meals up to this point. We have a new mentor program at the high school level at Wilson High School, and we have started the process of one on the elementary level at Delmay Elementary. We have started delivery of meals to the hotels on Highway 52, and it is growing. It's up to 30 meals at this point. We currently service north, west, east, and 52, and those that cannot get to the park, we have a route for them. Thank you.
Back up again. My name is Pastor Henry Bailey Jr. I'm on behalf of the My Brother's Keeper, and we're talking about collaboration. What we've been doing is collaborating with a lot of churches and agencies in the last year. We distribute from the truck a performance food group, and some of our agencies and churches, I'm just going to read them off so I can stay under that 2 minutes. Mount Calvary Baptist Church, House of Hope, Regeneration Shelter, Potter's House Ministry, Spoken Word Church, Forever in Prayer Church, the CMD Pantry in Kingstree, PD Coalition, Daily Word Church, Sisters for the Future, Resurrection Shelter, Bible Way Church in Sumter, New Christian Baptist Church, Maxwell Baptist Church, the Shirek, Emmanuel Baptist Church, the Church of Deliverance, Friendship Church, Naomi Project, page 2, Women to Women, Seed Time Harvest, Monumental Baptist Church, Stand Fast Project, Salvation Army, St. Matthew's Church of God, Cumberland United Methodist, St. Mark Baptist Church, Golden Gate Holiness Church, and finally Trinity Baptist Church, where Pastor Robinson is here. There are many more people that we collaborate with. We are now partnering with people all over the PD region, and it's fun to do that. We work the truck, and we try to make sure everybody goes back to the community and do what they do. There are more of these every week and every other week that we serve. There are 250,000 church plates we fix as part of the story. But with our partnership with others, we are affecting and assisting other partners to be able to feed over 1,800 additional meals and serve them every week. We're asking you to help us. Council, Mayor, Council, women and men, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So with all that being said, basically we do just the meal part of it. And as you know, we have many entities that go with that, from having bags that we can give out to individuals that may come to us and say they know someone who's in need. You can just come by and pick up a bag to give to someone, to toiletries that they may need. We even have showers inside our facility now, if it was absolutely necessary. So we're trying to do as much as we can. Of course, the next goal is to get to South Florence area. That's the only area of Florence that we do not have a route in currently. But prayerfully, Florence will see fit to fund us once again, and we will be able to get a small van like we have for the other routes and continue to do what we're doing. So with that being said, I now open it up for questions. I've got a few seconds left to answer any questions you might have. Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman E. Smith Jackson, Councilman Braddock, and then Councilman Smith.
Thank you so much, Marcus, for all you do. Currently, right now, how many volunteers do you have?
We have approximately 100 volunteers that work with us on a weekly basis.
Okay. And y'all doing how many meals per day?
A little over 200 per day.
And I know.
From day to day, it'll go from 200 to 250
Okay.
on certain days.
Okay. And I do know that y'all do go to the parks. I know some of your volunteers will call me if y'all have any problems.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm hoping that everything is going smoothly, especially at the parks, because I know sometimes East Florence Park was a struggle for you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, wow.
And if there's any other assistance we can do, please let us know. But thank you so much for all you do for the homeless and the people who don't have access to food.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say the Lord's going to say it one day, but well done, my faithful servant. But I just want to say kudos to you and your team, because you've come a long way in the last few years, and just see God richly bless this organization. Means to me that He's behind it, and if He's behind it, then we should be behind it.
Amen. Amen.
Councilman.
Good afternoon, and
afternoon.
Mr. Marcus, if I call you that, I'm sorry. We go to church together, so I just want everyone to know, and if you could just elaborate a little bit on the stops that you make throughout our community.
Okay, so when we get started, normally it's at 2:30 for the parks. However, there are meals that we prepare and we deliver before that. There's a team that comes together every day, and they deliver to those individuals who are homebound. We have in those areas where we deliver meals approximately 30 individuals who can't make it to the parks, so we deliver those meals to them to their house. Then the van for the parks begins at 2:30. They start at Northwest. We go from Northwest, or some of y'all might see the bottom. From Northwest, we'll go to our Dr. Allo Jones Park. Then from Dr. Allo Jones Park, we go to Levi, depending on where you're from. We go to that park. And then we leave that park and we go to Timrod Park. So we go to 4 parks, but then once we get done with the parks, we leave and go down 52. There are several hotels that have parents with kids that are basically struggling, and they need those meals, so we deliver those meals. And right now we're at 30. We're hoping that it'll grow because we are starting to get in contact with some of the principals at some of the schools, and they're letting us know which kids really need that help. So we're starting to go and service them as well.
I just want to say thank you for serving our community in the way that you do, not just our homeless, but also our students who are in need as well. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Councilman.
I'm going to echo everybody else has said and say thank you so much, good and faithful servant, absolutely. But for the benefit of those who may not understand the interconnectivity, because, you know, we frequently have different organizations in our community coming for us to talk about feeding people or homelessness and whatnot, and I think there may be some concerns, legitimate concerns, that there may be an overlapping. And wait a minute, isn't this other organization doing the same thing? Mm-hmm. Isn't the House of Hope feeding people? Isn't, you know, Meals on Wheels, aren't they feeding mm-hmm. people? You know, aren't other organizations also dealing with homelessness? And so if you'd like to comment, and Brian, if you also want to join in at any point.
Absolutely.
Just to give everybody and all our viewers at home a little bit of a background on how everybody, and I'm speaking for you,
yeah.
works together. And that, you know, the city dollars that you're asking us for
right.
that are being used efficiently and effectively so that we're not overlapping services. And if you don't mind sharing on that, I think it'd
absolutely.
be beneficial. Absolutely.
So what we have to keep in mind is everyone knows that everything has elevated tremendously in price over the past few years, especially food cost. So organizations like Salvation Army, they have a strict budget that they have to adhere to. Once that budget is exhausted, they got to go search to try to make up for that budget shortfall that they have. So what we have done, partnering with Salvation Army as an example, we provide the meals that they need for those individuals who are at the Salvation Army on a daily basis, so that the monies that was used strictly for feeding, that money is pretty much used in other parts of their budget because their budget is becoming more and more strict. So all those organizations come to us because we've partnered with Performance Food Group. I don't know if you know of the organization, but they service a lot of different entities as far as businesses that provide meals. So everything that Performance Food Group has, they bring it to us on an 18-wheeler, and every week we have half the team that you heard Elder Beatty give to you. We give them the product so that they can go and distribute at their locations, whether it be an agency or a church. They distribute it there. So we kind of monitor them to make sure that the individuals who are in need are getting those products, and it has grown to the point where I'm not even giving you the full story of the 1,800 individuals that are being serviced weekly. That's just some of the agencies that do the reporting. But we know that it's more than that 1,800 aside from what we do. What we do is feeding. You know, that's our thing. We're a shelter, but our motto is shelter from hunger. protecting them from that hunger that they may have. So we do that, and with everyone working together, it makes it work like it is because everyone comes together. If someone has something extra, they give it to us. If we have something extra, we give it to them. So it's not a matter of it being a museum where I'm holding on to something. Listen, if I've got it and you're in need of it, you can come and get as much as you need as long as it's helping someone in the community. That's what we do.
Well, thank you very much for that. Brian, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that in terms of the cooperation.
Before we move to the Councilman Braddock, we will recognize Councilwoman Barnes.
Yes, I want to thank you. I heard you said children, and just a few weeks ago, I found out that there in District 1, there is over 800 students that are homeless.
I'm
And
not
so
surprised.
low performance will equate to malnourishment, them not eating. And so I just want to thank you because it means a lot for the future of this city that they learn in school. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Braddock.
I would just say that in my 10 years being with the House of Folk previously, I haven't seen any organization do as much as my brother's keeper with as little to feed so many people and help so many different organizations. So in terms of any overlap of their service, they provide stability for other organizations, and they do it efficiently and effectively, and they get a huge return on the investment that's been made in them.
Thank you.
And at this point, I will acknowledge and say, I remember when you started out.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you even got to your shirt. So to see what all you have done and how you've grown and how you've organized, but most important, how you have valued the partnerships and relationship, the importance of that. And I believe not only beyond the spiritual basis of your organization, but your willingness to be sure to cover all of the territory and to share with those who are doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
That is what makes growth happen when we can all work together to utilize the strength of each organization. And when I listen to Pastor Beatty read off the organizations, it shows that y'all are very effective in what you're doing. So I want to thank you from where you started to where you've gotten here to now.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're a great partner for the city to have. Thank you.
Thank you.
And at this time, we'll proceed with our agenda as outlined. Next, we have Ms. Elaine Chandler to come forward to speak on concerns with the homeless in the community.
First thing I want to say is go Gamecocks. My name is Elaine Chandler, and I'm not a very positive person compared to the people that have been up here, but I feel like that my addressing the issue that I sent a paper to the council about, I'm not going to go into the details of that paper because it's not nice, but I do want to thank the mayor, the police chief, the sheriff, the officers that have been involved in helping improve some conditions at the strip mall across from Magnolia Mall. It was a very, very bad situation, and I got my information from people that own property out there, from people that work out there, and my own experience out there. But it's improved. From, I'd say, mid-February to now, we've got one offender. And I don't understand why his issue can't be addressed. I'm sure there's a reason. And maybe my heart would be settled if I knew what the reason was. We have ordinances that can help us control what's going on with some of these situations of people sleeping out on the streets and sleeping on the sidewalks. And I want to thank the chief because his men have made a difference out there as far as the sleeping situation is concerned. Like I say, that's basically, I just wanted to thank Mayor Urban and anyone else that's been involved in helping produce what's been produced out there, because it's a lot. We've still got a long way to go. I've been promised that some trash was going to be picked up, so Fairfield Inn will look a little nicer when people open up their drapes and look out the back window. That is prime property for Florence. When people come in, that is Florence. And when they see paper and people sitting around with tarps over their heads and dogs laying out by their seats. You know, we don't want that for Florence. We really don't. I am going to get involved in this situation that the folks were just talking about. I'll have some time that I can devote because I am retired, and I'd like to have a positive input instead of a negative input it's so bad with 911, I don't even have to tell them who I am now. They know. Is this Miss Elaine? I mean, that's how bad it has been, but it's getting better. So, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Miss Chandler, before you leave, I want to say, and you kept saying negative, I'm going to say to you, community input is not negative. I thank you because we need concerned citizens who, when you recognize an issue of concern, that you bring it to our attention. We as leaders here, we cannot be everywhere, but our citizens are everywhere. So no, what you've done is not negative, it's been a positive, because what you've done, you brought an issue forth, and all those who you named came together to work with you to make a change. So thank you. And
I feel like I'm kind of a broken record.
no, ma'am, keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate it. We need more concerned citizens like you. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll move forward with our agenda. Next, we have Mr. John Weiser to come forward, and he shall be introducing himself to the council to speak on a recently announced project.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Mayor and members of City Council, I am honored and humbled to be here today. My name is John Weiss Jr., and I have accepted the role as CEO of the House of Hope of the PD. For those of you that may not know me personally, you know this was a God calling, and I stand before you a very humble man. I want to thank the city and council for all the support you've had on the House of Hope and what you've done to serve those in need in this community. The House of Hope is a faith-based ministry focused on homelessness in the PD region. So just to let everybody know a few of our facilities, we have the Courtney McGinnis Graham Shelter on Church Street. This serves men, women, and children. You can stay up to 30 days at this facility and work with case managers to get into one of our programs. We have our Men's Life Recovery Program. That's a year-long program for men to break the barriers that they've dealt with their whole life, right? The first 90 days is spent at the Addictions Recovery Center, the ARC. It's a 240-acre piece of property and a really just an amazing opportunity for men to get away from just the bad experiences they've had in their life. In that program, they have faith-based curriculum Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday and Thursday, they have general maintenance of the property. Saturday, they can utilize the property in amazing ways, hiking, fishing, just being in the outdoors. And then Sundays, obviously, church. So how about our women and children, right? Everybody's looking at me. Yes, great for men. How about the women and children? If you haven't been down West Darlington Street, please come visit us. It's called Hope Village. It's a 24 tiny home village community, right, for women and children. That's a 2-year program, like I said. So women come in there. They can live up to 2 years. They get education opportunities, employment opportunities, financial literacy classes, jobs for life classes, and devotionals every day. So that's just a few of our facilities right now. Everybody's looking at me. What's next? What are you here to talk about? It gets even better. So right now, we just started raising money for the Community Resource Building. What is this? Transient members of our community, people in your libraries, on the side of the roads, in front of your retail locations. This will be a safe place that people can come during the day to not only get a meal, to have a shower, to check in their things to lockers, their things they're carrying around, and also have a church congregation in that community resource building as well. And what's better, we'll have our case managers to either help them get to partner agencies within the state or community, or get into one of our programs. So that's what we've started raising money for, and I'm just here to humbly be in front of you, introduce myself, and thank you for the many things you've done for the House of Hope in the past.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman Smith.
I just have one question. Where is this building projected to be located?
It will be about 300 to 500 feet away from the Courtney McGinnis Graham Shelter. So during the day, they could utilize the Community Resource Building, and at night they can walk about 500 feet to the Courtney McGinnis Graham Shelter and have shelter during the night.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Barnes.
Thank you so much. I think we heard a little bit of this from my partner that's sitting beside me, and we are super excited that you're going to take and run with it.
Yeah.
Run with it, and
Well,
run with it.
Just know I'm so humbled.
One of my concerns is because we are growing so rapidly, we will also have a mental hospital on that side of town. That is one of my concerns, that with resources, it will bring other homelessness in our community. And so I am 100% behind supporting this effort because it helps our community. We have a beautiful community and we need to keep it and even improve on it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bailey.
John, my friend, so happy to see you up here, and thank you for what you're doing. And you certainly have taken over the reins from you got some big shoes to fill, filling Brian's shoes on that. With regard to the Community Resource Center, it would be helpful for us if we could have a detailed proposal of what it would look like, what the cost structures are, who the partnerships are, so that as we go forward into budget season, and Scotty, I know we don't have enough money, I know that. But as we go forward, we can at least keep all that in mind. Is that something you could get to us?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And thank you for what you do, and love to the whole family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilman Braddock.
Well, first of all, this is the first time I haven't had to recuse myself for a House of Hope matter, so excited about that. Certainly excited to have you with the organization. I think that the board made an excellent decision to bring John on as the CEO. And again, John, like George said, with this project, getting that information in, right now, what's the total cost or the projected cost of this community resource building?
1.5 to 1.75 million.
And how much has been raised already?
$750,000.
So you're about halfway there.
Yes, sir.
And that was with just a couple of people,
Yeah, those are two amazing, gracious donors that have been supporters of us in the past.
All right, well, good deal. Well, I think if two people can get us halfway there, certainly the city, the county, the hospital, and some other folks can get us the rest of the way. So
absolutely.
Thank you very much. And you know, Councilwoman said that you have big shoes to fill, but God is an awesome cobbler.
Come on.
So you'll be fine.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
John, welcome to your new position. I've seen you in many other capacities, so congratulations to you. And I heard the emotion in your voice when you spoke, so I know that your heart is committed.
Thank you.
So congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing the great works that you will be doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
That concludes the portion for our appearance before council. At this point, we'll move forward with our resolution. So I'll ask that if you have your agendas, please go to our resolution section. So at this time, under our resolutions, we have resolution number 2024-12. It's a resolution to proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in the city of Florence. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Let it reflect that resolution has passed reading, and we do have representatives here from the PD Realtor Association. I believe Ms. A.B. Kirby will be receiving on behalf of the organization, but all representative on the behalf of the Realtor Association, please come forward.
Resolution 2024-12, a resolution to proclaim April as Fair Housing Month. Whereas Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 prohibits discrimination in housing and declares it a national policy to provide for fair housing in the United States. And whereas the principle of fair housing is not only national law and national policy, but a fundamental human concept and right for all Americans. And whereas National Fair Housing Law during the month of April provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize that the issue of fair housing continues to be a problem for many families of all races and that complete success can only be accomplished with the help and cooperation of all Americans. And whereas the City of Florence, in its commitment to fair housing, proclaimed the month of April as Fair Housing Month and urge all of our citizens to join in this effort to reaffirm our individual commitment to support the practice and the spirit of the Fair Housing Law. Now therefore be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina does hereby proclaim the month of April as Fair Housing Month. Resolved this 8th day of April 2024.
I just wanted to mention that all the ones that stood up with me today are the members of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, and we're all working very hard to make fair housing a focus all year round.
Thank you so much. And I do want to acknowledge with the DEI committee, that's a new committee that's formed over the years, so thank you to all the realtors for your commitment to the City of Florence, but not only the city, beyond, because I know we service summer everywhere. So thank you for all that you're doing to make sure that all of Florence is doing what it needs to be done to make life healthier and a better quality of life for all of our citizens. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Next, we have on our agenda resolution number 2024-13. It's a resolution of recognition for the contribution of none other than Ms. Dorothy Hines in the community. Do we have a motion in a second?
Pass.
We have a motion in a second. I'm going to ask Ms. Pope, would you please read the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2024-13, a resolution of recognition for the contributions of Dorothy Hines in the community. Whereas Dorothy George Hines is widely known and respected in Florence, South Carolina, and is a 1964 graduate of Wilson High School, and whereas Dorothy Hines began her career in nursing and was in the first integrated class of the Florence program of practical nursing, she became a registered nurse upon completion of her Associate of Arts degree in nursing from Hartford Community College in 1974. And whereas throughout her career, Dorothy Hines has exhibited a passion for caring for others, having a positive impact on the lives of individuals and the community as a whole. And whereas Dorothy Hines has selflessly volunteered her time and expertise to support numerous community initiatives that have enriched the lives of our residents and enhanced the vibrancy of our city. As a longtime resident, she is renowned for making positive changes and improvements to the Williams Heights community. In 2013, the City of Florence held a dedication for the Dorothy Hines Nature Trail in honor of Dorothy Hines. And whereas Dorothy Hines has demonstrated exceptional dedication, leadership, and service in various capacities in the community. She's a past president of the PD Nurses Association, past vice president of the Florence County NAACP, past vice president and state delegate of the Florence County Democratic Party, former member of 30 years and retired from the City of Florence Planning Commission, former board member of the Health Facilities Credit Union, board member of the Florence County Habitat for Humanity, a member of the Azalea Home and Garden Club and Rose Garden Club, member of the Chi Eta Phi Nursing Sorority, member of the South Carolina Nurses Association, and president of the William Heights Neighborhood Crime Watch. And whereas the City of Florence acknowledges the invaluable contributions of Dorothy Hines to the betterment of the community, and her positive influence will continue to resonate for many years to come. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence hereby recognizes Dorothy Hines for her exceptional contributions to the community and thanks her for her exemplary service and dedication. Now therefore be it resolved this 8th day of April 2024.
We have a motion and a second before us. Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Let it reflect that the resolution have passed, and I'm going to ask that Councilman McCall come down for the presentation, and Ms. Hines, please come forward, and let's give her a round of applause.
Yeah.
I would just like to thank the mayor and the city of Florence, city council, for bestowing this honor upon me. I'd also like to say that I've worked with city planning for 33 years. One of the main reasons is because it's my home, and the city of Florence provided me an opportunity to be able to be a productive person, from the school system to the nursing program that I attended, and went away for a while, but I came back and started to work again. I love Florence, y'all. And I guess that's another reason I worked such a long time with the city of Florence. I believe in the city of Florence. We've made a lot of strides from the time I began up until now. It's really a totally different place. And I can truly say it's a place where now our young folks, when they go off to school, they can come back home and get a job. And that means so much to all of us. There's a whole lot of things I could say, but I won't. Because those of you that know me, sometimes I get wind up and I can go. But I'm not going to do that today. But I would like to say to the mayor, city manager, city council, the community of Florence, you have been a blessing to me. Thank you.
And Ms. Hines, before you leave, we have some of the city council members who want to speak. We'll first recognize Councilman McCall.
Thank you, Ms. Hines, for your service. And I found it, and I said I'm going to be brief today because everybody know I talk too much, and I go on and on about you.
We're going to start the 5-minute clock.
5-minute clock. I know we got a solo clip for you, so I'm going to get us out of here. Okay? But I would say, I think what's very important to honor you for this resolution is the fact that you served for over 30 plus years and not get paid. It's a volunteer service, and being on planning commission is a tough job, and you get everything that we get prior to us getting you get the month before. And again, I just want to thank you for your selfless service. I know sometimes it don't seem as if we cherish you enough, but for you to do it for 30 plus years is tremendous. I can barely allow my wife to allow me to do it 2 terms, but for you to do it over 30 plus years, it shows you how much you truly care for the city of Florence. And you are a true beacon of hope for all the other people looking at you and thinking about volunteering. You are the example. 30 plus years, and you never asked for the spotlight, kind of force it on you a little bit. But I think it's best to give you your flowers while you're here and let you know that we appreciate you for your service, and thank you for, again, your selfless service over the years. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilman Smith.
It's hard to go behind Councilman McCall. But simply, I just want to say thank you for your service to the city on Planning Commission, but as well to your community of William Heights. And it hasn't gone unnoticed and unrecognized, but I want to also say thank you for being a blessing to us to show what a model citizen can be here in the city of Florence. So again, thank you for all your selfless work and all your compassion that you have shown for Florence. It is never gone unnoticed, and we hope to have you maybe get you for something else sooner or later. I know you're not done just yet, but thank you so much.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman E. Smith Jackson.
Hey, Ms. Dorothy, you have been, like Jaquez said, and Councilman McCall, a beacon to the city of Florence. You have been a blessing to us. Your activism, your community leadership has been impeccable. We have worked with each other on different projects throughout the years. I've known you for a long time, from being a customer of mine to now being my supporter and my voter. And thank you for all of your service and everything that you do for the city of Florence. Thank you.
And Ms. Hines, I don't have the words to even state how I feel about you. And when you said about the park in 2013, it was an honor to be there, to be a part of that naming, especially since it was in District 1. So, Ms. Hines, I can say unto you that I love you, and you know that you are one of my role models. And I've always respected you, especially in all leadership, and especially in your leadership when it came to nursing and leadership roles. So I want to say thank you just for always being there, and thank you for always being that voice. I love to say that voice that speaks wisdom into all situations. So thank you, and thank you for your faithful service, not only to your nursing career, not only to your family, but your dedication to this city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.
And y'all may notice she is a fashionista too. She's always on par. And next we have resolution number 2024-14. It's a resolution to proclaim April 22nd, 2024 as Earth Day in the city of Florence.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a reading of the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2024-14, a resolution to proclaim April 22nd, 2024 as Earth Day in the city of Florence. Whereas Earth Day is celebrated annually on April 22nd as a global event to raise awareness about environmental issues and promote actions to protect our environment. And whereas Earth Day serves as a reminder of the collective responsibility of individuals, communities, organizations, and governments to address challenges such as climate change, pollution, habitat destruction, and biodiversity loss. And whereas Earth Day provides an opportunity for all to come together in support of environmental initiatives, volunteer efforts, and educational activities aimed at making a positive impact on our environment. And whereas the City of Florence recognizes the importance of environmental conservation and sustainable practices in preserving our planet for present and future generations. And whereas in 2021, the City of Florence established the Resilience and Sustainability Advisory Committee to research, recommend, and support a culture of stewardship, striving to preserve and enhance our natural resources and landscape, societal opportunities, and economic needs. And whereas the City of Florence, through its Resilience and Sustainability Advisory Committee, strives to offer and support a sustainable quality of life that includes conservation of air, water, energy, and land resources, effective minimization and management of waste, good neighborhood planning, and a comprehensive multimodal transportation network for improved livability. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina hereby proclaims April 22nd, 2024 as Earth Day in the City of Florence and encourages all residents to promote awareness and participation in Earth Day activities throughout the City of Florence. And it's so resolved this 8th day of April 2024.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Let it reflect that resolution number 2024-14 has passed. And I will ask that Ms. Mindy Taylor, Chair of our Resiliency and Sustainability Committee, please come forward.
Mayor, thank you. Just for the benefit of the audience, Lauren Piner and Lyles Cooper are also members of the Resilience and Sustainability Advisory Committee, and we've spent a lot of time researching different initiatives. Our first one is going to be on Earth Day, so everybody can feel free to join us. We are partnering with Keep Florence Beautiful on a cleanup around Jeffries Creek that will begin at the Naturally Outdoors area. So it's important to protect that treasured natural resource that we have in the city. So come join us at 9 o'clock, Monday, April the 22nd. We will be before council with other initiatives that we're working on, so this won't be the last time you see this group. So thank you.
Thank you, Minnie. To the whole of the committee, thank you so much. I know that y'all been laboring over these years since we first introduced and adopted the committee. So we thank you, and we're looking forward to the success of your first initial project. Thank you. And at this time, we'll move forward with resolution number 2024-15. It's a resolution of recognition of the Florence HU All-Star Boys Basketball Team for the winning of the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association State SCAP Championship. Do we have a motion in a second?
So moved.
We have a motion in a second. Any discussion? Please, Amanda, read the resolution into the record for us.
Resolution number 2024-15, a resolution of recognition for the Florence 8 and Under All-Star Boys basketball team for winning the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association State SCAP Championship. Whereas the City of Florence 8 and Under All-Star Boys basketball team competed in the state tournament, winning the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association SCAP crown, and whereas led by coaches Brent Knox, James Charles, Daryl Gaskins, the team emerged victorious against Sumter at Pearlmore Basketball Center to clinch the Eastern District title and earn their spot in the state championship. And whereas the team traveled to Cherry Anthony Recreation Center in Pickens, South Carolina to face their opponents in the tournament. And whereas the 8 and Under All-Star Boys team outshot their competition, defeating both Bluffton and East Columbia on Saturday, March 2nd, 2024, to advance to the championship game. And whereas the 8 and Under Boys team faced Bluffton for a second time in the tournament on March 3rd, 2024, ultimately defeating them to win the state championship title. And whereas through hard work and determination, these athletes have proven themselves state champions and are role models for area youth. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina, commends this athletic accomplishment and congratulates the 8 and Under All-Star Boys basketball team for winning the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association State SCAP Championship. Resolved this 8th day of April, 2024.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Please let the records reflect that the resolution has passed. I'm going to ask that Councilman McCall please come down and go for the presentation. Representatives from the basketball league and the youth who may be here, please come forward.
I'm going to try to do this easy way. As y'all see, we got some tall ones over there. Yeah, we got some tall ones. These kids, they show heart and determination when they battled. They went to war with 5 teams, 5 times, and they played some ball. They played ball. And in Florence, a lot of people don't know, but they had 1 week to prepare to play regular basketball. Here, they kind of cripple them by making them play in a box, where a lot of these kids don't know how to play regular basketball. So you had 1 week to show them everything they needed to go upstate to try to win the championship. As you see, some of them got more medals than the other ones. Some of them are 2-time state champions, and not just basketball, but they also win football. So I know y'all probably tired of seeing this, but this is our 3rd time being here, actually giving our time and dedicating our services to the kids. And I'm just proud of y'all. And I want y'all to know, keep going, keep doing what y'all doing, no matter what's going on, what obstacles y'all got to face. Remember, it's all about being a team, and it's not one person. And other than that, congratulations, y'all deserve it, and never let nobody take away y'all state champions.
Amen. Yes.
You gonna say the names?
I don't have the list, but I remember them all by the names I call them. But here's my son, Zaire Gaskins. You got Kyron, we call him Juice. You got Landon. You got Darryl White Jr., we call him DJ. You got Christopher Williams, we call him C-Dub. You got Bryson, that's the only 8-year-old I ever seen dunk. You got Jamerson. You got little Brent Knox, we call him Beans. You got Josh, Onyx, and Miles. And Jay Charles, as a coach, me and him, we had a plan in the beginning of the season. We went to the regular season. We had 6 kids that never played I'm talking about never played basketball. And we end up winning the city championship. Me and him, we talked every night. We pretty much put together the team, and then we brought along Brent Knox, Mike Hamlin, he don't want to come up, and then Jeremiah, he's trying to stand back there, he don't want to come neither. And then you got Brent Knox, he wasn't able to make it, and Dominique Henry. And you got Quez over there, he's trying to be quiet, but he was a part of it too.
Thank you, young man, for all that y'all have done and your accomplishment, and to the coaches and to the councilman, to his commitment of working with these young people. Congratulations. Y'all have represented well. And to the parents, thank you for supporting your young people as they're traveling this journey to life. And young men, all these medals that you're getting, please continue to do so, but not only in your athletic life, but also in your academic life. You got a great future. Thank you to our future leaders. And thank you to our coaches and parents. Thank you. And as they're leaving, I do want to note that on our agenda, we had resolution number 2024-16 and resolution number 2024-17. These two resolutions will be taken up at next month's meeting. And also, we do have resolution number 2024-18. It's a resolution to honor the contributions of the Leaf Lounge to the efforts to revitalize downtown Florence. Do we have a motion?
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Mrs. Pope, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution 2024-18, a resolution honoring the Leaf Lounge for contributions to the efforts to revitalize downtown Florence. Whereas the owners of the Leaf Lounge have established a unique dining establishment in downtown Florence and are a small business owner who partner with several local civic organizations, and whereas the investment by the Leaf Lounge is welcomed and is playing a role in the continued development of Florence's downtown business district, and whereas the owners are contributors to the community's growth through their diverse and inclusive atmosphere, unique themed establishment, and exemplary customer service, and whereas the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce has requested that the city recognize the business efforts of the Leaf Lounge and its contributions to our community. Now therefore be it resolved that upon the petition of the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce and in recognition of the Leaf Lounge contributions to the continued efforts to revitalize downtown Florence, the City Council of the City of Florence hereby declares the months of April through June the Leaf Lounge Quarter. And so it is so resolved this 8th day of April 2024.
Council, you've heard a reading of the resolution. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Let it reflect that the resolution has passed. And I will ask for the representatives to please come forward, and I'll ask for Councilman McCall to please come down with me.
I thank the mayor and the city council for the accomplishment. I'm not meant for words, but surely appreciate it, and hopefully keeps trying to do better in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, I'll talk. Thank you, Mayor and Council, as always, for gracing us with this opportunity to do this, and recognize our local businesses who are the lifeblood of our community. Special thanks to Councilman McCall as well for partnering with me in this endeavor. The Leaf, you've been a great addition. I had a conversation this weekend, by the way, with some friends, and it was that conversation that there's nothing to do in Florence. And that always annoys me, particularly when we have great establishments such as the Leaf, because my response is always, well, if you want more to come, then you support what's here. And so support the Leaf Lounge. Support this unique and diverse environment that they have. And we want to thank you again, Jesse. Thank you, Tarania, for everything that you offer to the community. Thank you, thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilman McCall.
Very briefly, I always tell the story to people. I'm a patron of the establishment. But I remember the first time I went, I think it was a soft opening you all had downtown. And then I said, I kind of like this establishment. It'd be great for the city of Florence. It's very unique. And then I want to say like a week later, COVID happened. and so everything kind of shut down. But what you did do is you was one of the businesses that was able to innovate and still find ways to service the community and stay in business over the years. And you are a great asset downtown. Again, I love to be I'm a frequent customer. Hopefully I can get a free cigar this time. This joke, please don't get that. But again, you are a great business. You are an asset downtown, and love to have you in the community and service in the city of Florence for years and years ago. Thank you.
And I would also like to acknowledge and thank Jesse for choosing to place his business downtown. But also I want to state that for his legacy of his family, your effect in your family, your father, here on the city of Florence. Many are not aware that your father was the one who actually did our design for community revitalization. And born out of that, with them coming here, being a part of improving our community, they also saw the opportunity to enhance us on a business level. And you stepped out on that faith to do it. And even in the midst of COVID, and it survived, and you're really thriving. So thank you to you and your family and your businesses, how you have made yourself an important part of the city of Florence. And my understanding, you could be a homeowner here too, correct? So you're just investing all the way around. So thank you, and I hope that your business continues to thrive. And as you expand and be a part of the community living here, thank you for all that you're doing. We truly appreciate it. And we'll give you a sugar. Council, that concludes the portion for our resolutions. And so at this time, we will proceed back to our agenda as outlined. We are now proceeding to the ordinance in position. First, we have bill number 2024-04 for a second reading. It's an ordinance to amend the budget for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2023, and ending in June the 30th, 2024. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like sign. Next, we have bill number 2024-05 for a second reading. It's an ordinance to annexing zone RG 3701 Bannockburn Road, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 00152-01-025. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, we have bill number 2024-06 for a second reading. It's an ordinance to annexing zone NC 152506 Parson Gate, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 01221-01-285. Do we have a motion?
Second. So moved.
We have
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Next, we have bill number 2024-07 for a second read. It's an ordinance to rezone 709 and 711 West Darlington Street from NC 6.2 to NC 6.3, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 90060-11-002 and 90060-11-017. Do we have a motion?
moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like sign. Let it reflect that the bill has passed. Next, we'll move forward to introduction of ordinance. First, we have bill number 2024-08 for a first reading. It's an ordinance to rezone a portion of 186 Dumbarton Drive from CG to IL, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 00099-01-020. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. At this time, we are here from Mr. Clint Moore.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. This is a request to rezone the property listed as tax map number 00099-01-020. This would be a portion of that property. It's currently zoned general commercial, and they are requesting light industrial. The applicant originally went to Planning Commission on February 13th and requested the rezoning to heavy industrial. At that time, Planning Commission did not feel entirely comfortable and requested that staff work with the applicant to look at what their intended use was and what it is they may utilize that property as. And after we discussed it with them and had some conversations about what is permitted within the two separate zoning districts of light industrial and heavy industrial, it became very apparent that what they were requesting fell under the light industrial zoning designation. So they amended that request to light industrial, and Planning Commission on March 12th, 2024 unanimously recommended that. Okay. And so so again, this property is currently zoned general commercial. Right now it has ACS Technologies building sitting on it up along Dunbarton. They are requesting to rezone a portion of that. So the portion that has ACS Technologies is listed as 180 and 186 Dunbarton, and they will subdivide a piece of that property off and rezone the back portion. So it sets back off from the frontage road and is adjacent to, and I think we're missing our stick, but this property, this is the UPS distribution center right beside it. So this is, again, contiguous to the UPS distribution center and a proposed multifamily, which is just on the other side of that. All of the UPS the UPS distribution center and the multifamily are both in the county, not within city limits. This is a proposed layout. They are looking at essentially storage of transfer trucks and vehicles and the like. With this will come the obvious buffer requirements between the uses of the general commercial and the multifamily there along the back. And is that Jeffries Creek? No, Middle Swamp, I believe, runs to the back. Beaver Dam Creek? Yes, that's right, Beaver Dam. So the big distinction between light industry and heavy industry is essentially the intensity of the use. So a heavy industry zoning would permit things that would have loud noises, could have smells or chemicals or what have you. Within light industry is typically things located like data centers, general contractors, lay down yards, things that do not have a major impact on the adjacent properties, but certainly do not fall under a general commercial or any type of commercial use. So again, in our discussions with the applicant, what they are trying to accomplish here with the storage of vehicles and along with storage facility, it certainly falls under the light industry definition. So this is a photo of the front property. Again, with this rezoning and development, you would not see this from the right-of-way of Dunbarton. It will be far back behind the ACS Technologies building and hidden, especially behind the UPS distribution center. And this concludes staff report.
Chair recognizes Councilman Jabali. Following Councilman Jabali, Chair will recognize Councilwoman Neesmith Jackson.
Just real quick.
Yes.
The green that's alongside the ACS,
yes.
Is that the ingress and egress route?
That's correct.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, do we know how many housing units are in the unit that's in the county that's adjacent to it?
Yes, it is about 300 units.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Neesmith Jackson.
The applicant, is it UPS? Who is the actual applicant?
No, this is a private group out of Charlotte. They purchased the ACS properties about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. When ACS Technology, through COVID and coming out of COVID, ACS Technologies went fully remote. So they still have some of their, I believe, their administration use here in those buildings, but with that, they're with staff not being on site, they put the properties up for sale, and this group purchased it.
And what kind of storage and trucks would they have parking in this? What kind of business is it? I mean,
They are
light industrial?
proposing semi-truck storage, so the overnight storage of those vehicles, along with just your standard storage, like a ones that we see, U-Haul or any of the other ones.
Okay, and so semi trucks will be back there parking for a fee or something. Is that what it is?
Yes, I believe so. So that would be, it's not a truck facility, so people would not be going, parking back there, staying the night. It's more of that transfer over where certain companies would drop off a truck, leave it, and then the other drivers would come and pick them up and use them as necessary.
Okay.
We have two. Chair recognizes Councilman McCall, following Councilman McCall, Councilman Smith.
I got two questions. The first one is, I think you already answered that one. What was planning's, was it 7-0 unanimous?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And also, is there a staff recommendation for the zoning change?
Yes, we recommended the request. We did not recommend the heavy industry just because it really opened it up to a multitude of different uses and ones that would certainly impact. With the proposed use, light industry is certainly in compliance with the adjacent properties. It's got heavy buffering. It's going to be back behind there. And with the subdivision off of that main property along Dunbarton, we felt that it made sense that this rezoning request would be approved.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Smith.
So for clarification, in this zoning, they're not permitted to have any loud noises or certain chemicals, correct?
That's right. No, none of that would be permitted.
Chair recognizes Councilman Braddock.
How big will the new site be that they're parceling off?
The new site, I believe, is around 11 acres. I think the total property is around 17 acres, and I think they are proposing to subdivide about 11 off of that. Yeah, 10.6.
Any other discussion? Chair recognizes Councilwoman E. Smith Jackson.
What kind of buffer is going to be required?
It depends on the use. So along the multifamily portion, which is kind of that southernmost, this back area here, I believe I'd say
Trees, fence?
Yeah, 20-foot buffer with trees and landscaping. And as it gets adjacent to the industrial property, which is the UPS distribution, that requirement becomes less and shrinks. So it's all dependent upon the adjacent use.
Okay, so it go from 20 foot to less once it gets close
that's
to
correct.
UPS. Okay.
Any
That's
other
all I got, Mayor.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Let the record reflect that the bill has passed first reading. Next, we have Bill number 2024-09 for first reading. It's an ordinance to annexing zone NC 6.1 4 lots along Rosemount Drive, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 00152-01-146 and 00152-01-147 and 00152-01-148 and 00152-01-149. Do we have a motion? We have a motion and a second. At this time, we'll turn to Mr. Jerry Dudley for a report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This does involve the annexation and zoning of 4 pieces of property on the corner of Rosemount and South Irby Street. These lots have already been subdivided in the county. The portion of the property was purchased from the adjacent landowner and then combined with the lots and subdivided into 4 separate lots here. And the proposed zoning is NC 6.1, which is consistent with the adjacent subdivision of Point South. And this is essentially adding 4 more lots to that subdivision on the corner there. And it is consistent with the adjacent zoning and the future land use. And I think I have a map here of the parcel lines. And city water service is currently available to all 4 lots. City sewer service is available at the edge of lot 4 in this picture. or this illustration, and it will be extended by the developer, so no cost to the city there. And the Planning Commission did vote on March the 12th unanimously to approve the requested zoning, and staff concurs with that recommendation.
Any questions? Chair recognizes Councilman Bailey.
Jerry, real quick, this is single-family residential or what?
That's correct. NC 6.1 is single-family residential with a minimum of a 6,000 square foot lot.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Let it reflect that the bill has passed first reading. That concludes our introduction of ordinance. We've also completed our introduction of our resolution. We'll now move forward to reports to council, and we will have a report to appoint the boards and commission.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. We have one board that has a vacancy. That's our Parks Commission Board. We do have a number of applicants. However, it should be noted that this will be filling an unexpired term. That term actually expires on June 30th. And that falls to Councilman Jabali.
Councilman Jabali. All right. Let it reflect that Councilman Jabali is deferring that appointment. All right.
That concludes staff's report.
Thank you for that report. Next, we'll go to our reports. First, you will have the mayor's report. And I want to place this for you to take a look at. I want you to notice the A on the back of it, and then please note the front of that. With that sculpture, I want to report that we here in the city of Florence hosted the first of the Harbor Freight Fellowship, and it was a collaborative effort among a foundation. This foundation works throughout our nation to facilitate relationships between our youth and industry. One of the reports that we received at the Harbor Freight Fellowship for the Youth Summit, which was held at our Barn Street, and it was a partnership among several organizations, and one of the organizations was the Mayor's Youth Initiative. One of the reports that we have, and I was glad for y'all to see that they speaks to about how that, we always encourage our youth to pursue a higher education, 2-year colleges, 4-year college graduates, but some children may choose not to proceed to college, but there are options, and this is one of the things that this fellowship is teaching us. Here in the PD, it's reported that we have over 250 active jobs opening, and these opportunities are for automotive mechanics, with over 66 opening, HVAC workers with over 56 opening, and electricians with over 36 opening. The importance of this is showing that these positions can be completed with things such as apprenticeship, mentorships, that it does not necessarily require going to college. This summit was supported by our local industry. To name a few of them, McLeod was there. We had Honda. There were several businesses who came forward to recognize these young people. We had a panel of young people who actually spoke with us, and one was a young lady who was a welder, and also another gentleman was a welder, and another one was also a mason. And they talked about the opportunities they felt and what they learned from talking with our seniors. I placed this up here because this particular centerpiece was actually done by the Advantage Academy. That's here in Florence, South Carolina. It was designed by the instructor there. Then they had the students to design it, the welders to weld it, and then the auto part, they actually painted it. And if you get a chance, I'm going to lead this, the paint actually changes color. And you'll see the creativity of having how South Carolina was represented. But this is the representation of the talent that we have in our young people. And more importantly, when I saw this, I was telling myself, I really want one of these. How can we get it? So from that, they actually sold these particular sculpture. We were able to purchase them. They also had planter boxes, artwork, and one of the representatives from Harbor Freight, I want to say from California, bought over $300 of artwork. He bought all of the artwork was there. We had representatives who came from Lake City, Pamlico area, and they donated some of the sculpture work to the seniors at Barnes Street. But I want to say this is the talent that we have here. This is what relationships and partnerships produce. So for these young people, when they did this, then our young people did so well, they have been invited to go on to one of their national events for the Harbor Freight Fellowship. So I want to say hats off to Advantage Academy for what they did to make this a success. The young people had the culinary there. They did the desserts. They also hosted, taking everyone to their seats. They actually did the layout and design. And actually with Barnes Street, we have 5 young men who are actually a part of a fellowship, and they will be partnering to do some that HVAC work with McLeod. So I want to be sure to acknowledge our young people and the things that they're doing. So keep a watch for them. So that's a report on that, but also I do want to acknowledge that you received more input. I want to congratulate the future entrepreneurs who are also Amir's partners. They just returned from a trip to Dubai. A trip to Dubai. Our young people, internationally traveling. And to the founder, Ms. Nunikwa, she is such a wonderful young lady. She's also a member of the Mayor's Youth Initiative. They've already planned for their 2025 trip to Dubai. And with these young people, she's not only partnering and teaching them, skills they can use to build their business, she's also opening up the world to them, providing them the opportunity of a vision to know that they're just not here from Florence, but they're a part of the whole of the world. So I want to congratulate them on that trip to Dubai. A wonderful group. So and all the parents who wanted to sign up this year, it went so quickly. Information will be posted, so keep a watch. And it's for the children, so that you will have to have a child who's involved to be able to go and be one of the mentors. But also, I do want to acknowledge that we as a city did receive notification that there was a publication done on March the 28th that the Interior Department had committed to $58.3 million in grant funding for parks and recreational projects in communities that lacked parks or park development. And we did have members of our council who participated in the formulation of the process of getting that information. I'm sure the business chair will give you an update on that. But as part of the city, we have received notification that we will receive $8.9 million and a little bit over from that. And that will be coming as a part of the National Park Service and Outdoor Recreational Legacy Partnership. And I do want to acknowledge that as we receive information on this grant, there will be protocols that we will need to follow in order to be in line to receive the funding. And we've already been reached out to by members of the community wanting to know when they can have input. And I do want to assure you that the City of Florence, in a part of our grant procedure, will be having public hearings so the community can get input, especially for the communities who are round about the part that will be the recipient. But that concludes my report, and I'm sure that more information will be given by the chair from the business committee, more of the details when it comes to the partners who serve to be a part of this particular grant that will help change the environment of the community parks. That concludes my report, and at this time we'll proceed to committee reports. And I'm going to ask that the chair of the business committee please give us a report and update.
Thank you. The Business Development Committee met March 21. Myself, along with Councilwoman Barnes and Councilman Braddock, met Mr. Davis and Mr. Hemingway were there, and we had a very robust conversation around the grant status, and a document was sent around, and everybody of council should have gotten it, that details whether it's stormwater capital improvements, water and sewer, special projects, administrative, public safety, and police, that showed a total of grants received of $47 million, with additional grants under review in the amount of $22.2 million, and that was March the 21st. But then last week we got news that we received another grant, which was, we did not know which was going to be coming, or if it was going to be coming, and if so, how much. And that was the grant referred to just a moment ago for Levy Park, the reimagination project that fell under initially with the Business Development Committee, looking at our corridors and corridor enhancement that Councilman Barnes and myself, and initially Councilman Schofield when he was still in City Council, and then Councilman Braddock, but then moving over to Councilman Smith and myself spearheading the effort. And it was great excitement and enthusiasm that we received word of the intent. Let's not be ahead of ourselves. It's called an intent to award, and that's what we received. And so I would call on our city manager, Scotty Davis, to give us the update because you are in the fortunate position of being city manager at the time we received this grant. So I'll ask you to give us the formal update on it. Thank you, Scotty.
And Scotty, I'll just ask that you give us a brief update because I know we got some more things that we need. So you can give us a brief one. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of council. We're certainly excited to announce the grant that we recently received, or the intent of the grant of $8.927 million for Levy Park. This will allow the city to enhance Levy Park. It will include a comprehensive renovation and expansion of the park, which will include sports fields, courts, development of multi-use walkways, ball fields, all-inclusive playgrounds, fitness equipment, additional landscaping and parking in the area. We must acknowledge that we couldn't have done this without our partners. There are a number of successful partners in the area. Ms. Hines talked about the love of Florence. There are certainly partners that really love Florence, and we had to match this grant. So we had to actually find $8.9 million. And but for those partners, we wouldn't have done that. Certainly we'd like to thank Holly Beaumier with the Convention and Visitors Bureau for working with the city and a number of partners, particularly an anonymous donor that gave over $3 million. That's a Florentine that certainly has a love of Florence, has been donating for years and years, and noticed the need in the area, and we do have that with us. In talking about the grant, I think it also should be noted that the city and county of San Francisco received $8.1 million. Florence received $8.9 million.
That would be New York City.
The city of New York City received $6 million.
That's right.
And Scotty,
the city
also,
of Florence is $8.9 million.
Scotty, also, let's have into the record, I do want to note that this particular article was passed around, but for the general public, you can go on. This is actually from the National Park Service, where I was reading about the $8 million. All this information and the recipients can be found on this site, especially for our press that y'all may have not seen it, but you're welcome. But all this information is in public. Go ahead, Scotty, please proceed.
And again, as I said, the city of New York received $6 million of the $58 million. Florence received the second highest award there, so we're certainly pleased and proud of the grant. I can't thank the city staff enough for all the work that has been done there, and we look forward to continuing working with this grant in the years to come.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you,
Councilman?
Scotty. So I feel it would be inappropriate to not recognize Councilman Smith for his partnership with me as we went out and raised that $8.9 million and got that matching grant in place in order to, and the state of South Carolina having given us 2.75 of the 3.7 that the city of Florence gave. So thank you to the Florence legislative delegation for the $2.75 million that was given to us as a grant that we in turn were able to do it. But also this whole process started with the doctors Bruce and Lee Foundation and McLeod and the county partnering with us to purchase and take down the old motel that was there. None of this would have happened had we been unable to successfully get that motel property acquired and taken down. And so the city coming up with the matching funds, the $1 million initially, was critical to getting the $1 million that we needed from those other entities in order to get the purchase of the property acquired and to get the building torn down. So none of it would have happened without that. And I just want to say thank you to all in our community who worked so hard to make it happen and who are partners in developing this. And especially thank you to Councilman Smith, as well as to fellow Business Development Committee members, Councilwoman Barnes, Councilman Braddock, and then formerly Councilman Schofield. Just as a side note, I just received word that Councilman Schofield has had a health issue and that he's in the hospital, but is doing well. So let's keep him in our prayers, please. Thank you. Unless there's anything else, that's the full report from the Business Development.
Thank you for the chair for that report, and I will second the acknowledgement to all the partners, and especially to those the community who was the driving force behind making sure that that hotel got torn down, and so all the participants who helped it to make this happen. A special acknowledgement I will give to McLeod and to Bruce and Lee Foundation, who were able to work together to negotiate to position so that we could actually secure that property. So that partnership really spearheaded, and they talked to each other. So thank you to all the partners in the community and all our former staff who played a part in this as well, and especially to our present staff. You labor so hard to make sure the information is put together correctly. So we thank you for that, and also to Holly for bringing this grant forward to us. Thank you to everyone. I think that this once again shows how relationships and partnerships are so important. Thank you to the business committee members who participated to get this information together as well. We're looking forward to seeing the product as it come over time. Next, we'll have a report from our Community Development Committee Chair.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Community Development Committee, one, we're excited about this new park improvement that will be in our community. It's going to be a great added feature for that gateway as well as the community. I said with one of the reporters during the interview, oftentimes we have crime because people who are committing crime have no hope. When they see an uplift, it gives hope. And so I am excited about this. So kudos to the hard work that has gone forward in bringing, as a matter of fact, at the beginning of this, it was a hard sell, but George kept pushing and actually brought all the partners together, and we are just so thankful for him doing that. Now, with my committee, we saw when we announced this on Levi Park, there were some people saying, now wait a minute, what about our park? This is grant money. And when we apply for grants, wherever we are awarded the grants, that's what and this was a gateway improvement that included Levi Park. And so I'm grateful to announce that on Jones Park, this committee has asked for an amphitheater on Jones Park. And so we are announcing today that we will have this amphitheater, but we are also looking for partners to expand and add to what we are now trying to put in place. My members on the community board is Councilman McCall and Councilwoman Neesmith. That's it for my report.
Thank you for that report. Next, we will proceed to the chair of the Marketing and Public Relations Committee. Chair.
Yes, all right, everyone. As chair of the committee, in my committee we have Mayor Pro Tem Jabali and also Councilman Smith. And this week I want to say also, first of all, I want to recognize April is also Autism Awareness Month, and that we have to be aware of autism that is around us and that a lot of our kids are exposed to. One of my youngest grandsons is on the spectrum, so this is special to me in recognizing April is Autism Awareness Month. Now, when it comes to our city body, y'all just understand it's coming. We're working on some challenges related to the integration of the chatbot and the city's existing work order program. So once the issues are resolved, city staff will conduct the internal testing of the bot prior to releasing it to the public. So we are excited to be rolling out our chatbot. It is coming soon. And this came out again of the marketing development. One of my main goals in the marketing and development is to bridge the gap of transparency, communication, and trust between the city of Florence and our communities. And we do this also by currently working on awareness campaigns. So right now, the city marketing and communication staff is currently working on a road safety awareness campaign. So look for that to come, and we ask that everybody share the campaigns that we have on our city website and on our city Facebook page, because they are informative to a lot of people, and we want to keep everyone, and especially all our citizens, safe. Also, the city marketing and communication staff is currently working with the city's IT company on the redesign of our city's website to ensure that the technology is up to date and that our visual design is keeping up with the current trends and is appealing to all of our visitors. Also, I want to recognize that the Florence Police Department will provide a presentation for the 4th section of CDU. Y'all, I talked about CDU at our last meeting on March the 18th, but that was the day CDU started. So they're on their 4th session, and they actually will graduate here at the city here in the council next month. So, and then we're gonna have another class starting, because once I said that, people was like, Shonda, when is CityU? And I invite people to attend the CityU because it actually gives them an awareness of how the city works. Also, I would like to say thank you to my leadership class. I have 1 or 2 people in here from my Leadership Florence class that's here. So thank you for coming. I look forward to seeing all you guys tomorrow, which Florence, the city of Florence and the county will be hosting leadership tomorrow, so we're excited about that. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And I will add to that, Councilwoman, there's some information that will be coming to you. Part of the Mayor's Youth Initiative, what we're looking at is something for the young people to be able to be educated on when it comes to the city. And I have reached out to our city manager, and also we have a representative from the school board about looking at possibility of a city youth university. But I will share that with you and have you a part of it. So I will look for you and your team to lead the efforts to make that happen.
Oh yeah, we're excited about that. That should be interesting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So at this time, we hear from the chair from the Finance, Audit, and Budget Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll be quick because it appears I am the final thing on the agenda. We're going to be out here early today.
Yeah.
All right. So we met on April 3rd of 2024, which was last Wednesday. And we discussed 3 things. The first was the update on the applicants and participants in the rental registry. There was an audit done that found an additional 2,000 more units. And again, one of the big reasons for the rental registry, although this was brought on prior to me coming to council, but one of the big reasons is to make sure that you're holding the absentee landlords accountable for the makeup of the community and making sure that all tenants have a safe and a habitable place to live. So again, there was an additional 2,000 units added to the list, and that's my understanding. I think there should be additional more added upon more research from the city. Second, we went over the February's monthly budgetary audit. And I'm not even saying that right, but everything was good, nothing negative. And then finally is the Roundup program, which is scheduled to begin on May 1st of 2024. We passed this 6 months ago. I think it was, every time it's posted online, the same people always kind of give the same negative response. But it's not that we're trying to implement it again or re-implement it. It's just the fact that the goal was to give everyone at least 6 months to know you can opt out. And that's not the deadline to opt out. You can opt out at any time. But just letting everyone know that May 1st is the first day that the award of bills will begin to round up. So just letting everyone know now, again, if you do not want to be a part of the program, You do not have to be a part of the program. However, you're not able to benefit if there was a time of need that you were to have. So again, that's all we discussed. Members of that committee is Councilman Braddock and Councilman Smith. And that will conclude my report. So, Mr. Resher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for that. That concludes our agenda, so we're at the point where we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Fastest one.